This is a brief overall view of the Cunard ship, the Queen Victoria, on which we're travelling for a month at the moment from Southampton to Los Angeles via the Panama Canal. This is a view of the corridor in which our cabin is situated, and it's on deck 1, and we're about halfway along this typical ship's corridor, which stretches all the way from one end to the other, and this is only about a half of the ship, I would say. So let's go down towards this end and see what we can find there. I feel quite lucky on this level because as we go to the end of this corridor, go around the corner, it leads straight down to the theatre, and it's somewhat dark as there's nothing on here at the moment, but I hope you can get some idea of just how loud it is. I calculate it will seat somewhere between 500 and 600, and the seats are raked so that virtually everyone in the audience gets a very good view. At the top there are some private boxes which you can use for a supplement during shows or free at other times. I have now made my way back along the corridor outside our cabin, and as we come round the corner we come to the main entrance hall on deck 1. As we proceed through lift shaft A, on the left we have reception, and on the right is where they deal with the tours, of which Cunard offers plenty. This is the grand staircase leading up from level 1 to level 2 and finally up to level 3. Just out of interest, there are many musicians throughout the ship, and this is the grand piano, sometimes played by one of them. And over on this side we have the harp, as we also have a resident harpist on board. Over in this corner close to reception is a room known as Connections 1, and in here there is access to the internet, which can be purchased through Cunard, and there are certainly plenty of computers in here from which to choose. I am now showing stairwell B with its 4 lifts amidships, and we'll proceed through here and see what we can find. Over on the left hand side is the champagne bar with other comfortable lounges. We'll just make our way past those. Pretty typical display here of what is available for you. And another bar for more normal drinks. Music you can hear as we're passing through the ship, that's a pretty constant feature. Most of it is not too intrusive. And yet more comfortable lounges up here for people to enjoy, and believe it or not, another bar. And proceeding along here towards the Britannia restaurant, where you can have your main meal, dinner of the day, and also you can take breakfast and lunch if you so desire. People are now making their way into the restaurant, so we'll just go in and have a quick look. And it's on 2 levels. This is the lower level, and this is where we have our dinner. Somewhat difficult to film because of the light, but is one of our waitresses there who's given us a friendly wave, and these are the tables in the Britannia restaurant. What I have done now is made my way up to the deck 3 area, and I have my back to the Britannia restaurant, as that is over 2 floors. And now we're coming back from there into the 3 corridor from stairwell C, which is the rearmost one on the ship. So we make our way down here, and we see on the left these panels normally open out to display all the many photographs which are taken of you on board the ship, and this is the desk where they will happily sell you your photographs. They've also got their rates for their package deals. I suggest you make your own mind up as to whether these are good value or not. So we're coming back along deck 3 now, past the photographic area. Here the air conditioning working hard as we are in the tropics. More lounges of course, and even more of course, more bars. So we're now coming down and we'll take a look downstairs. So here again we're back to the grand staircase. So many features here you will already recognise. Deck 3 incidentally is the one which people use for promenading around the ship, or doing their exercise if you like, because 3 circuits of the outer deck there actually comes to 1 mile, so it's good for those people who wish to take their daily walk. Now working back, there is a bookshop on the right, and we're coming back, passing stairwell B and heading down more corridors. And let's see what's in this door on the left. Well, it's actually a continuation of the corridor, but what it does do is look down onto the Queen's room on level 2, and here you have nightly dancing and various other things, and in fact soon, believe it or not, there'll be a fencing class here, because fencing is one of the many diverse sports which they will teach you on board Cunard ships, well, certainly the Queen Victoria at any rate. So that is the Queen's room. Now let's make our way further down. There are a number of shops here, high-class shops selling high-class goods at appropriate prices, shall we say. A few chairs and tables on this side, so that those who don't wish to dance or wish to watch others dance can quite happily sit there and view the spectacle. Jewellery in this shop. And there's a name I'm sure you've heard of. So back to watches on this side. And I rather like globes, and you've certainly got a large choice in this window. Down here is an area I don't bother with personally, but it's the casino, and many people will be glad to know it's on board. Many probably will not, but there we are. There's always a clock here, and it's always wrong, so don't take any notice of it. And proceeding back, and we're entering what they term the Royal Arcade. In fact, I think we just left the Royal Arcade, because I'm now finding myself back in stairwell A, which is the one at the front of the ship. So let's go up another floor and see what we can find there. Actually, before we leave level 3, I'll just take you in here, which is the library. There's no one in here at the moment. It's only 8:30 in the morning, so I guess I'm not disturbing anyone, but there really is a pretty magnificent choice of books in here, which you can borrow free of charge. And again, we've come to the outside deck, on which you will see people doing their promenade. Internet available here as well. I'm just outside of the library at the moment and looking down from deck 3 onto yet another of Cunard's magnificent staircases. And here are 2 of our fellow guests who are sitting at our table. That's Colin and Ruth just making their way, whether it's to breakfast or not, I don't know. But there we are. There are about 2,000 people on board the ship, and you seem to bump into many of them quite frequently. On 5 floors of the Queen Victoria you will find laundrettes situated for the passengers' use. They are free of charge, as is the soap powder, and they do a very good job. Also available are drying and ironing facilities, so there's no reason why you can't keep your clothes clean and tidy at all times. As decks 4 to 8 contain nothing but staterooms and laundrettes, I've come up to deck 9, and here we have the gymnasium. Certainly very fully equipped, and there's quite a lot of opportunity for you to take up fitness programs and of course use the machines, and a number of people do this every day. Here we're back in stairwell A and on deck 9, and this deck is somewhat unusual in that it has both interior and exterior, so we'll come out. As we come out of here we see the table tennis table on the left, and we're now coming outside, so we'll take a look round here, and it leads out to the swimming pool, and this is pretty popular here at the moment, I must say. But it's covered with a net, so you can't actually use it at the moment, and it's been that way since yesterday. So we'll now move back from the swimming pool, where it is a little breezy, and re-enter the back end of the ship, or aft, I suppose the nautical types we want to call it. And we have another lounge here, and another bar, and this has an openable roof. I haven't actually seen it open, but it does open. Fair bit of background noise all the time, and there's a band performs here occasionally. And as we walk through here and see the people admiring the view, which at the moment is all ocean, we come up to the Lido restaurant. Now this is where we have both breakfast and lunch, and it's self-service. It can get pretty crowded, even though there's a lot of it. So this gives you some idea of the tables. That's just on this side, and there's sanitation here, so we'll make a point of cleaning hands before we go anywhere near food. And now I'm going to work my way up and give you some sort of idea of what is available. I find the choice of breakfast is really excellent, and coming around here we have the drinks stations where you can get coffee or juices and milk. Over on this side I make a beeline for this particular point every morning, because this is where the smoothies are kept, and I have one of those every day now. So excellent. You can see people sitting on the other side of the ship. So I'll now head round the corner and we'll go down to where the food is and let you have a look at that. All self-service here, and people walk around with trays on which they've placed their breakfast selection, and they just find somewhere to go and eat it. So we have seating on the right and we have food on the left. This, incidentally, if you want an ice cream, is an ice cream machine, and you just help yourself to it. So ice cream, I think, is available any time of the day or night. No doubt many people have seen these before, automatic toasting machines, and these do seem to work pretty well. And large choice of bread, and if you don't want to toast it, you've got other things like muffins and croissants. Good choice of preserves and butter or butter substitute. Over on this side, we'll start with the cereals, and all my favourite cereals are there, certainly. And here we have yogurts, more for the continental taste, you might think this one is. Cheese, cold meats, and fresh fruit, and pineapple, melon, prunes, grapefruit, dried fruit, and there we are.